Hey guys, EBPMAN here. Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another electric scooter. And you know what? It's like the electric year for us on the channel. We have a lot of e-devices or e-vehicles that are going to be great for those of you who want to move around and do it very energy efficiently and also environmentally friendly. And the new company, the manufacturer of the KQI3, are not new to the space whatsoever. This is a fantastically built scooter from a company that has a lot of experience. They have, I would say larger formatted scooters and also bikes. So this is a smaller form factor for them. But you can tell based on the quality that they've been doing this for a very long time. So we're going to go ahead and check out in this video the specs. We're going to go on a ride and you'll see why you may want to consider this scooter as your next scooter for the summer. Now the KQI3 Pro is an app-enabled scooter, so it has Bluetooth capability as well as it has a built-in security system that is part of the app. And this security system is going to make noise and it's going to prevent your scooter from going away, at least without fighting back. And you'll see how this works really quickly when we go through the actual physical review of the bike, or in this case the scooter. Now, the range itself is, first of all, a speed of 20 miles per hour and then a range of 31. It's going to be able to support weights up to 220 pounds. So it's going to be great, when it comes to distance, speed, and then also when it comes to the carrying capacity. You do have a large LCD display that is very bright, colorful, and it really is easy to see all the content that's there. But what I found is I paid less attention to the LCD and more to the phone because of how enabled the app is. Now, like I said, this thing is built so well. It also has a 700-watt motor, 700-watt motor. Now, I've had bikes, like e-bikes, that have 750 watts. So imagine this in a scooter. So the scooter has 700-watt motor. Gives you a lot of power. And one of the things that I rarely see, and it might be even the first time I've seen this on a scooter that we reviewed, is that it has regenerative braking. So what that means that as you're slowing down, the energy that you put into slowing down actually charges your battery. And that's going to give you the ability to extend your rides. Not that you're going to be braking all the time or riding the brakes, but again, as you stop, you're putting power back. Now, the bike does, or in this case, the scooter comes back with 4 modes. It has an e-save mode, which is going to be an energy efficient mode. It's going to be, there's a sport mode, and then there's a custom mode as well as a pedestrian mode. Now, this bike does come out of the box in e-save mode, and the other modes don't get enabled until you have satisfied some requirements. One of them is at least being able to ride it for a distance before it opens up the thing. So I highly recommend that if you pick up the scooter, that you get the app, install it, make sure your phone is on, go through the tutorial, and then what you'll want to do is ride it and make sure that you meet the minimum requirements to be able to open up the sport mode and some of the other modes. Now, the other thing that's really cool about the scooter is that it has great tires that are worry-free. I love worry-free tires, meaning that you don't have to worry about flat. So these are 9.5-inch tubeless tires that, again, you don't have to worry about it. Those are thumbs up for me. I never want to get stuck on the road. Now, the scooter is a little heavier, right? So not terribly heavy, but you're looking at around 40 pounds for the scooter. Now, for those of you who may worry about getting caught in the rain and whatnot, if you're using it as a, let's say, a last mile device, like from the bus to your office, from the train to your office, or even if you're just using it for grocery shopping, like going around, like Noel and I do a lot, you have an IP54 rating. So all these things give you really, really great, I would say, experience. So let's take a closer look and we'll go on a ride and we'll see why you'll want to consider this one. It's a nice one. Now, the first thing that we'll focus on is going to be on the tires. So you're looking at a wheel size of 9.5 inches. They are tubeless, so you don't have to worry about getting any kind of flats. You also then have a great, I would say, support system here. You'll notice how wide this area is. It's also rubberized, so you're not going to have to worry about too much slippage, right? And you'll notice that the rubber surface goes from back all the way up to the front. You do have your charging port here on the side, and that's nicely tucked away and protected by this little door that you see right here. And you do have a braking system. But one of the things I just wanted to highlight is that this scooter has fantastic cable management. You don't really see a lot of cables anywhere. It's very sleek, it's very well designed, and the max rider rate for a scooter like this, the max rider weight is of 220 pounds. Now, the braking system of this scooter also gives you some regenerative power. That means that as you're pressing the brake, it is actually generating power that's recharging the battery. And that's going to give you some additional distance. Now, if you're worried about range, you're talking about 31 miles. 31 miles at a 20 mile per hour, 19.9 to 20 miles, all depending on, again, your weight. So great distance, great battery, also regenerative braking in front and back, and then everything is really clean. Nothing is out, nothing can be damaged because of how well things are tucked away. Now, the other thing that you'll notice is it does have in the front and the back some markers so that if you are riding at night, you'll have some reflection that's going to be great so that either a commuter or a car is going to be able to see you. You do have here in the front a unlocking mechanism, right? And this unlocking mechanism allows you to fold the column down if you want to be able to stow this in a car, or if you're using this as a last mile device and maybe you're taking the bus and you want to take it with you. Now, once you've released this lever here by pushing this up and then pulling it down, the actual transportation or folding is really easy. All you do is you pull it back like this, it locks into place, and this is where you can see where all the magic is happening when it comes to the cables. And look at how nicely tucked away the cable management is. So this folds into place, so you can carry it. You can take it into the grocery store if that's what you want to do, or if you're on a bus or a train, or put it in a car too. Now, one cool aspect about this, and I haven't seen this in another scooter, is that when you want to open up or release this from the lock position, it has a button here. So all you do is press this button, and then this comes up. See the button right there? When you push it down, it locks into place and it's not going to come out. Now, on this side of the scooter, you can see where you have your dual disc system. And I have to say, look how discreet this is. Again, really love the fact how nicely things are tucked away and how well organized you can see them. Nicely executed system here. Now, everything is really easy and accessible, and also it's very difficult to confuse anything on the scooter here. You'll notice you have your throttle here is separate. While it's integrated as part of your steering, it is not something that is embedded in this area here where you're going to mistake it and press this by mistake. You do also then have a bell here on this side. Your brakes are on each side, and this display happens to be probably one of the brightest displays that I've seen, especially for daylight. Look at how bright that thing is. So you're going to be able to see everything about the scooter. So you have multiple speeds that you can enable. You also have Bluetooth, so there's an app that we'll be using with us, and there's also some security involved as well. It gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to using the scooter. Now, the other thing that you have is a really bright front-facing LED light. So watch this. Look how bright this thing is. That is super bright. It's almost like having a ring light. Really like the way that looks. Now, the rear brake light does light up nicely. It has kind of like a dim mode when the light is on, and then as soon as you hit the brake, it pops. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the KQI3 Pro. Now, this scooter is one of the most comfortable riding scooters that I've had in a long time that does not have a front or rear shock system. This is pretty impressive. And I think that most of this has to come from the fact that we're running on, first of all, not solid tires. They're tubeless tires, so you don't have to worry about, running into a flat. But the ride is extremely comfortable. It's really enjoyable. Now, I am cruising at the top speed for this scooter. This scooter right now should be registering 20 miles per hour. Very comfortable. This is a kick scooter, which means in order for it to start, you have to kick to start. This is not going to be the kind of scooter that when you press the button, the throttle that you can see right here on the side, it's just going to start, right? One of the safety features that it does have is that ability to really just press the button, but you have to kick maybe 3 steps before the scooter actually starts running. So you have that really nice experience when it comes to starting up, which is going to be a great safety feature. Now, let's go ahead and navigate through here for a second. All right. Now, the braking system for this scooter is nice, right? So you do have a front and rear brake that you can actually press. And again, we talked about that it has some really cool regenerative features here. The scooter also has a nice bed. And as you can see, both my feet are on the bed side by side. So most scooters, because they have thinner beds, what ends up happening is you have to ride it like this, where you basically have one foot in front of the other. But in this case, the bed is wide enough where I actually can have my feet side by side. So that's another nice feature that I really like about the scooter. Really nice steering.
I like that it's wider. It feels a little bit wider than most of the scooter, I would say, handlebars that I've had in the past. And everything is really easy to access. So I have my brakes, and the brakes are very responsive, right? So it's going to take a little getting used to for you to be able to make sure you don't press the brakes too hard, because when it says stop, this thing's going to stop. It does have a bell, and the bell is loud, but also easy to access. And again, this is what I really like about the scooter, is the fact that all of these controls, everything that you need in order to use the scooter, are just a finger or a thumb away, so it doesn't really require a lot of space. Now, the screen itself, super legible. So right now it's a little cloudy in Chicago, but I can see my speed. And what we're going to do is we're going to test out the speed right now. So I'm right now clocking, at least on the screen itself, it says that I'm around 18 miles an hour. We'll see how true that is to speed. I weigh around 175, 185, and they say that the top speed is going to be around 20 miles per hour. Now, I am fighting the wind in Chicago, right? So we have kind of like a gloomy day, and you can see that and hear maybe a little bit of the wind. So it says 18 right now for me at the top speed. Now, this scooter also is app enabled, so this has some really great security features, as well as a Bluetooth app that has like a GPS. It's going to track your miles, your distance, the health of the battery, your battery level. It's also going to track everything that has to do with, let's say, any navigation points. So it's, almost has like a Google-like experience when it comes to the app itself. Now, the security features, it does have a security feature that you can enable, that as someone, for example, try to take the scooter, it will beep, and it will also provide some resistance. I'm not going to say that the scooter will fight back, but it does try to fight back a bit. So it's going to kind of put some resistance as you try to move the scooter away, which is a really, really nice feature. You can, again, enable that or disable that on the phone if that was something that you'd like to do. All right, so right here we're going to try to hit a speed test. And I am right now I'm going against the wind now, or the opposite side of the wind. So I'm actually going now 1 mile faster than I was a couple of seconds ago. So I'm reading on the actual scooter itself 19, 20 miles. It's actually hovering between 19 to 20. What we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees a little bit and kind of trying to get an aerodynamic type position here to see if we can get it up to 20. And I have a speed camera here to see how it clocks. So the speed camera is saying 17. The scooter says 19. So we're just slightly off, not too far off, but we're slightly off when it comes to the actual speed. The scooter also has it has probably one of the coolest headlamps or lights, front light, that I've seen on a scooter. Love the look at it. It's very unique, right? And it really sets this scooter apart. Now, all in all, I have to say that this scooter, the ride, the bed, the actual security features, the craftsmanship on this thing is like solid. You could really see that NIU has been in the e-vehicle space for quite some time. And if you think about this, and this is obviously the Pro version, is this a scooter that you should get? Well, if you really like all the features, if you're looking for a scooter that is solid, we're talking like really solid. I hear nothing, right? It's very quiet. It's subtle, has great cable management. It, again, has that app-enabled feature with security features. It's easy to fold, right? And it just feels so well constructed, right? This is definitely a company that knows what they're doing when it comes to creating e-vehicles of this type. And at the 20 miles per hour top speed, and again, it's going to vary based on your body weight and also the actual driving conditions, this scooter is definitely a solid buy. And now, are there any negatives? Any negatives to this? I can't come up with any outside out of me being a speed demon, wishing that it could go faster. One other negative I would say, and it's probably a negative and a positive, so that's going to be based on what you believe is negative or positive. Before you can actually get the top speed on this scooter, and you do have two speeds that you can select from, you have to go through a tutorial, right? So you have to turn on the phone app, connect it to the actual scooter, and then drive a certain distance before the actual the system will allow you to basically go top speed. That's a pro, and I would say that's a small con. It's a pro for those who have never ridden a scooter and would like safety first, and then for someone who's an experienced rider, it's probably a little annoying to have to go through that. So that would be probably the only negative that I can come up with, if it is a negative. Again, because it's a pro and a con, depending on the situation that you're in. And I just have to say one more time, I love the tires on this thing. The tires on this thing are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Especially with right now it's kind of bumpy where I'm at right now. And even though maybe my voice will make the bumpy noises, it is really nice. It's taking these bumps in stride. Very, very nice. All right, guys, so that is the KQI3.
Now, the app for the KQI3 Pro is very robust and has a lot of features that you're going to enjoy. The first one, which I think is one of the most important ones, is going to be the locking mechanism. And as you can see here, I'm just going to tap on it. This is going to lock the actual scooter, and the actual scooter itself is going to basically have like two little red dots that will appear on the actual screen itself, indicating that it's locked. When you press this button again, it's going to go into unlock mode. So this is one of the things that you can do really quickly. And one of the things I've noticed is that at times when the app does not connect to the scooter, I just exit the app and I come back in the app. And then as soon as you launch the app, it's going to look for the scooter. But if you basically, let's say, for example, open up the app and the scooter's not nearby, and then you come close to it and expect it to just connect, that hasn't really been my experience. So in addition to this, you have details about the scooter. So you can see your battery level, you can see the battery life, right? So you have percentage as well as distance. Now, you also have a riding record, and that riding record is going to give you details about each one of your rides and the distance that you took as you were riding. Now, check out this great feature. As soon as you hit the go, it's going to give you an instrument cluster that's going to tell you everything about your riding experience, including where you are. It also has details about your mileage, the battery level, altitude, and if you have the scooter, and right now I'm tilting the scooter in an angle, you notice how that number is changing, and that's because I'm leaning to the left or I'm leaning to the right. And it's actually identifying that. So it has some really cool features there. You'll get your speed, you get your riding time, the grade, your estimated range. So this is really great information for you, as well as the information as to where you are on the map. Now, in addition to showing you just that instrument cluster that you have here, if you go into the history, and this is my preferred history mode, I can actually go here and tap, and I can see the map, the distance, the route that I took, what I drove around. It's actually going to give me my average speed, right? Maximum speed, my climbing feet, as well as my descending feet, the gradient, and the max angle. So this is great information to really understand what your riding experience is and how does it compare to the battery. Now, what we've done is we've enabled the alarm or security system on the phone, and it's also enabled on you can see that there's some red LEDs here that lit up. And imagine that you just left the scooter, went to get something really quick, and you had this on. Now, I have Nilda, she's going to push it forward and watch what happens. All right. Now, while it's doing this, it's actually creating resistance from the wheels. It's actually pushing back. Now, this feature is not only enabled when the scooter's on, but if the scooter is off, as soon as you grab the scooter and try to move it, it's also going to do the exact same thing. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.